My neighbor's entitled daughter told me to figure it out when she blocked my driveway, so I figured it out by having her car towed. My neighbor's mansion has a 6-car driveway, but Princess still needs to use my driveway as the 7th spot. I'd endured 2 years of entitled parking violations with patience. Then she showed up one Saturday morning, blocked me in completely, and gave me the opportunity I didn't know I was waiting for. It started when I came out Saturday morning to get my mail, only to find her white Range Rover wedged against my garage door. But she hadn't just parked there. She'd positioned it like she owned the deed to my property, and there was no way I could move my car if I needed to leave. I stormed over to their pool area where she was lounging with friends, but she offered no apology or acknowledgement and just kept typing on her phone. The dismissiveness in her posture made my jaw clench. I told her to move her car immediately. She didn't even look up, just said she'd move it later. When I explained this was private property, she actually laughed, like my rights were a comedy show. I told her this was the last time, and that she would regret it if she didn't move her car. Her response came without lifting her eyes from her phone. "It's your problem now. Figure it out." Those words flipped a switch in my brain. 2 years of patience, 2 years of being reasonable, 2 years of "she's young" excuses. But telling me that her trespassing was my problem to solve, now that crossed a line I didn't even know I had. I walked back, pulled out my phone, and called Tommy from college who owned a towing company. Through my window, I watched her getting ready, carefully doing her makeup. Then I overheard her telling friends about the birthday party at 3 p.m., how she'd organized the whole surprise for her best friend. Perfect. I was ready to play this game. I specifically requested the impound lot in the industrial district, the one notorious for computer problems on weekends. Tommy arrived in 15 minutes, assessed the narrow driveway, the Range Rover blocking everything, and told me this was the easiest tow he'd done all month. We watched her car disappear down the street on the back of his truck. I grabbed a coffee and positioned myself with a clear view of their driveway, waiting for the show to begin. I glanced at my watch and saw it was 1:30 p.m., meaning she'd need to leave soon for that party. Sure enough, she came out within minutes with wrapped presents and an overnight bag. The shriek that came out of her mouth when she saw my empty driveway probably scared birds from trees. She pounded on my door like she was trying to break it down. I opened it calmly, sipping my coffee. When she demanded her car's location, I just shrugged and told her that I had the car towed, ending with, "Figured it out. It's your problem now." She tried everything to get her car back quickly. First, she called the impound lot, but they said she had to come in person. Then she called her father to drive her, but he was golfing and told her to handle her own mess. She ordered an Uber that took 20 minutes to arrive, then 45 minutes to drive through traffic to reach the industrial district. At the lot, their system was mysteriously down for 2 hours. And even when it came back up, they needed registration papers she didn't have with her. She had to video call her parents to email the documents. By 4 p.m., she was sending frantic voice messages to friends explaining she'd missed the surprise. One friend called me, offering Laker tickets if I'd help somehow. I explained the car was out of my hands. It's her problem now. By 5 p.m., she was still at the impound lot, waiting for the paperwork to process. The surprise party had already happened without her. Her friends were texting her videos of her best friend's shocked face when everyone jumped out, everyone except the person who'd organized it all. Word had spread through our neighborhood about what happened. My elderly neighbor brought me brownies, said it was about time someone taught that brat a lesson. At 7 p.m., I heard a car door slam. There she was in their driveway, finally back with her Range Rover. We made eye contact as she unloaded the unused presents from her trunk. Her eyes were red and swollen, her carefully done makeup destroyed. Her best friend had called her crying, asking why she'd abandoned her on her birthday. The friendship was damaged, possibly beyond repair. Her father came out and pointed at my house, then at her, then at the street. A new parking rule was born that day. The next morning, I saw her walking 3 blocks from where she'd parked on the street. We didn't exchange words. She knew exactly what had happened. I'd won without breaking a single law, without raising my voice, using only her own words. For the rest of my time on that street, my driveway stayed empty.